There are two types of people during the festive season, aka December. There are those that go through December and come out in January a little richer with a little bit of money in your pocket. And then there's another group of people that go through December and come out in January but with very little money in the bank. And if you're watching this, you probably have been on that side where you go into the new year a bit broke and are pretty much holding on and counting down to the end of the month. In this video, I'm sharing with you 5 things you can do in order not to go broke in December or enter January broke. And in my next video or the next 2 videos, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 things you can do to make some extra money this December or some quick money this December. So if that sounds good and that's something you don't want to miss, you definitely want to consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already, and hit the notification bell so you get notified when that video goes up. Otherwise, welcome to my channel. My name is Antwiwaa. If this is the first time I've seen this gorgeous face, and if you are returning, welcome back, my G. Let's get straight into today's video. First of all, if you hear any noise in the background, there's some deep cleaning going on in the house, and there's also some construction going on in the neighborhood, so please excuse the noise. If you don't want to go broke in December, or if you don't want to enter the new year broke, the very first thing you have to ask yourself is how much you are willing or how much you have available to spend in December. So if you're one of those people that put money aside during the year and have some savings they're going to be using for enjoyment solely in December, that's perfect. You know exactly the amount you have at your disposal. If you're not able to put money aside during the course of the year, or something came up and you used up that money, and all you have is your November income or your November salary, you pretty much know the amount of money you have at your disposal for December. So even before all the activities or all the spending starts, you want to find out exactly how much you can afford to spend or how much you have at your disposal for the month. Then step 2 is to find out what type of activities you want to be involved in during the festive season. There are countless number of activities during the festive season, ranging from traveling to an entirely different city, an entirely different country, or even a city within your country, to parties, to so many things you can do in December. So which of these activities will you like to do? Make a list of every single one that you have in mind, every single one you're considering, and then we'll go to the next thing. Before I let you in on what we are going to be using that list for, I want to find out if you're going to be giving out any gifts this Christmas. There's some people, or there's some households, friendship circles, workplaces that encourage gift giving during the festive season, and it's truly the time of giving. So if you're looking forward to giving anybody gifts, is that something that you already have a budget for, or is that something that your December money is also going to be covering? So you want to know exactly where you fall. If you want to give people in your life a gift, or someone special in your life a gift, and you're not sure what to give them, I have a whole video with 30 gift ideas you can give to anybody in your life, and the prices range from very affordable to slightly expensive. So if you need some ideas on some gifts you can give, I'm going to leave the link to that video in the description box so you can check it out and hopefully find something for your loved one. Now let's come back to that list you made. Looking at the list you have made, you probably have an idea how much each activity or each event is going to cost, right? If you don't, what's going on? But I trust that you do because you're smart. If it's an event, you know how much the tickets are costing. You have an idea how much it will cost to get you to the place. Are you going to be eating when you get there? Are you going to be drinking when you get there? Are you buying bottles? Stuff like that. If it's a trip, how much will it cost to get you to the place? When you get to the place, is accommodation sorted? Or is there a return trip? Is there a return trip? Are you buying fuel? All of that good stuff. You pretty much know all the logistics that come with that. So you know how much each activity is going to cost. And you also know how much you have at your disposal to spend, right? Perfect. You see where I'm going with this? No? Okay, I'll show you. Now, the trick to not showing up in January broke is spending within your means. But that also doesn't mean that you should be bored or have a boring festive season. Nobody wants a boring festive season. Everybody wants to have a good time with friends, family, all of that stuff alone. Nobody wants to sit at home and wallow in poverty. So I'd advise that you look through the activities, prioritize them. If you're looking forward to seeing Wizkid and that's like your #1 top priority for December, so if he's performing at an event and you want to see him, you want to know how much that ticket is costing, and then that will determine how much money you're going to be taking from the money that you have. So I'd advise that you prioritize the activities or the events you want to partake in and decide which ones are most important to you. And once you have done that, you know how much it's going to cost you to make it to all those events. And then you can decide, if you check and you don't have enough money, you can decide that, okay, I'll probably miss out on these 2 because they're not so important, right? or they're not that much of a big deal to me, and I'll prioritize maybe the first 3, and I'll go have a good time with my friends or with the people I care about. And you should in no way feel pressure to do things you cannot genuinely afford if you can't afford them. The reason we go to events, for example, yes, is to see maybe the celebrities or your favorite musician or actor, whoever it is you're looking forward to seeing, or whoever it is you're looking forward to seeing. But that aside, another reason we go to events or parties or stuff like that is to probably hang out with the people we care about, or maybe meet new people. So if you can't afford to do these 2 things through going for a particular event, it's fine. You can always make it a point to meet these people outside these events and still have a good time, right? So for this next tip, I would advise that you look for more affordable ways to do things if, looking at your budget, you cannot afford to go all out in December and not be broke by January. Some things you can consider doing is, if you cannot afford to go to all these events with your friends, you can always make time, bring those friends together and just have some time. Probably go to the beach. Beaches are not that expensive. You pay an entry fee, which is not expensive if there's nothing happening there. Have some drinks, have some kebab if you want that, or some fast food, and have a good time with those friends. It doesn't take away from your friendship whatsoever. You're still getting to spend some time with these people that are actually the reason you're going for these events, and I promise you that will work just fine. Another thing you can consider doing to save money is carpooling. Transportation fare really adds up in December. You're probably doing a lot more rounds than you would do on a normal day. If you don't have a car, you're paying a lot more for Uber, or you're paying a lot more for public transport or buses. If you have a car, you're buying a lot more for, because you have to be at more places than you will be on an average week or an average month. Something that would definitely help you is carpooling. Carpooling is where you come together with a bunch of people. They don't necessarily have to be your friends, to be honest. And you guys come together, foot the bill for either the fuel or for the Uber. Put yourselves in there. I'm not saying go carry 100 people in your car because you're trying to save money. That will kill you. And if you get arrested by the police, sorry. But instead of riding alone in your car, you can always get people who are going to the same events. You guys can come together, save a little bit more money, and still get to these events. If you're going to be using an Uber, it will make sense to share that Uber with some other people. If you're going to be paying, say, 50 cedis for an Uber alone, and then you have 2 or 3 other people joining you, that takes your fare to about 15, 20 cedis. And that is one way you can save money and not go broke this December. Another thing you can do is, if you cannot afford to buy gifts, you can make gifts for the people that you care about. Not everything has to be bought. Sometimes if you're good at baking, you can go ahead and bake your loved one a cake or some snack that they enjoy, and that'll make a good Christmas gift. If you cannot afford to go to every party, you can decide to host your friends in your house, and that will equally make them happy as well. All I'm trying to say is that there's so many things that we do during the festive season because everybody else is doing it. But if you look at your finances and you know for a fact that you cannot afford to do these things, it would only be wise for you to take a better route. There are so many alternatives available if you are willing to think it through before you act, as opposed to acting on impulse and following the crowd. And talking about not entering the new year broke, I'm going to leave a video right here where I share some tips on how you can level up in your 20s, or if you're in your 30s, that also works just fine. How you can level up your finances, your dating, and all of that good stuff. That will generally make you a much better version of yourself. So tap on the video if you want this information. And also don't forget that I'm leaving the 30 gifts ideas video in the description box, so you can definitely check it out. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up. It helped.
Talk to me nice.